What's up, folks? Uh, Finally going to do something I've been meaning to do for a week or so. Um, I've had this, let me see when I brewed this beer. October 30th, so that tells you how long it's been. Um, the Arrogant Bastard clone. Um, I called mine, I think I've probably called it two or three different things. I tend to do that, but on my board here I have written down Arrogance is a Bastard. I think I've called it Arrogance of Bastard, or I don't know what I've called it, but anyway, it's an Arrogant Bastard clone. The folks at Can You Brew It have tried to clone it a few times. I don't know if y'all familiar with that podcast or radio show on the internet or whatever. So I thought I'd give it a shot, and have actually entered this into a competition. And I haven't got the results back yet. I know I didn't win with it because I have seen I have seen the results, but I don't have my score sheet, so I don't know how well it did. And I may have goofed on where I entered it, and I'll explain that in a minute. But anyway, if any of you are familiar, I don't have it out of the fridge yet. Actually, I guess I can go ahead and get it out. I don't think it'll get too warmed up while I'm talking this part. But yeah, there's the Arrogant Bastard Ale, 7.2%. And I guess I'm going to knock this thing out by myself tonight, so that's going to be interesting. Don't usually drink that much in one sitting on a weeknight, but give it a shot anyway. Stone makes some good beers. They've got their regular Stone IPA that I really like. I buy it quite often. And they have this Double Bastard, which will grab you by the collar and kick you in the nutsack, because it's 11.25%, and it's a really good beer. But the Arrogant Bastard Ale is a really good beer, and it's been just a little bit. I bought that bomber several weeks ago, and it's been in my little cooler here for that whole time. I've been waiting to compare it to this recipe. When I did this recipe, I didn't have the exact ingredients that they did with the clone, and they've changed it a couple times since this one. So the original recipe called for 10.5 pounds of two-row, 1 pound 8 ounces of Maris Otter, 1 pound of Special B, 1 pound of Pilsner two-row. I'm thinking this is right. I may have changed it up just a little bit. I can't remember. Well, I know I changed it some, but I can't remember if all of these were in the original recipe. 8.5 ounces of Crystal 80, 8.5 ounces of Crystal 10, 8.5 ounces of Crystal 40, and a little over 5 ounces of chocolate malt. Now I didn't have Special B. I didn't order it, so I had C150 that I put in there in place of the Special B, and I put Crystal 75 in place of the 80, and Crystal 15 in place of the 10, and everything else was the same. So I come out with 1073 original gravity, 75, almost 76 IBUs, and what was my alcohol? I don't have it on the screen. I thought I was better prepared than this. It was estimated at 8%, but it came in at 6.5%, so it didn't finish out as well as what it should have. It finished out at 1022. Have I gotten really close to myself there? But anyway, even though I'm an IPA guy, I love a good beer if it's good and malty and it's got a bite to it. My Oktoberfest that I did, I liked it because it was kind of a heavier beer, not these thinner Oktoberfest that you buy a lot or get a lot of. And like my pumpkin beer, I liked it because it seemed like, I guess the spices, where I went crazy on the spices, it had a good bite to it. But this Arrogant Bastard Ale, if I remember, it was really good and almost chocolatey, and I love a good porter if it's chocolatey. I love chocolate. I love the taste of chocolate, but it's got to have a bite to it. It can't be real thin tasting like when you get to a stout, like a Guinness. I can't do a Guinness. It's just too flat tasting for me. But I entered this beer. If you look at Beersmith into the BJCP categories, it was right on the fringe of being an imperial stout as far as the numbers. with the gravity and the bitterness and color and alcohol content, but I went ahead and entered it as a specialty beer. And I'll just leave it at that until I get my score sheets, and we'll talk more about that later. But I have no idea. I really like this beer that I made. It's got a good chocolate taste to it, and it's got a good bitterness, I think. I think it's a really good beer. I would definitely make it again, as dark as it is. Like I said, I don't remember what the real Arrogant Bastard tastes like. It's been so long, so I'm wanting to compare these two and see if I'm anywhere close. I don't expect to be, but I'm curious. So I think that's all I wanted to say before I do this. So I'm gonna set my camera down and pour out of the keg and then pour out of the bottle, and we'll go from there. See you in a minute. Alrighty, let's get a pour of the Arrogant Says a Bastard. And I just have degassed this one because it was overcarb like my last video, like my other spilled milk or my Bell's Two Hearted was. And looks like I got the carbonation about right on it. I put this one in the Guinness glass. And while I got the camera sitting there, I'll just go ahead and open this one. $5.39 for this bomber. So let me see here. Well, I can already tell mine's darker. And from what I can remember, mine's, like I say, it's pretty chocolatey, so I can just about guess that mine's going to be more chocolatey tasting. And yeah, mine's, well, you get the light behind them. I don't know. Yeah, mine's definitely darker. But not by really a whole lot, I don't guess. Yeah. It's hard to tell down here in this basement, and it's nighttime, but I guess that comes from maybe too much chocolate malt, and I guess I could back off on that. The SRM for the Special B is 180, and I used C150, so I don't know. All right, we'll give the Arrogant Bastard a test first, or taste first. Oh God, mine don't even smell near that. I remember that smell now. Mine smells more like, and it tastes almost more like a really good nut brown ale to me, with a good bite to it, like a hoppy nut brown ale. But that's what I get out of mine, the chocolatey nose, or more of a nutty nose, I guess. I don't know. But that Arrogant Bastard, yeah, it's got that distinct taste. And you know, I didn't look at that. May be bottle conditioned. The way that looks kind of stirred up there, I don't know. But that's the Arrogant Bastard. Man, that's a good beer. Nah. No, it's not close, I don't think. This is obviously much darker. So it's more chocolate malt. Way more chocolate malt than that one's got. And I'll have to go back and look at the original recipe online and see if I even changed that. I may have changed it around a little more than what I even had on my sheet. But the Arrogant Bastard is kind of, to me, is a little more caramelly. Still got that good bitterness to it. And I'm trying to detect the bitterness to see if I was close on that part. too, where mine came out so a little bit sweeter than what it should have. It didn't finish out. I'm sure that's having an effect on how sweet this is tasting compared to the real thing. And they're both about the same temperature. I was kind of wondering about that, so. Oh, me. Well, definitely not a clone, but if you know Arrogant Bastard, it's got that very unique taste to it. And it's a damn good beer. I love it. But I don't know, maybe back off on the chocolate just a tad. Maybe the Special B is that flavor that I'm missing. Maybe I should try to get some Special B instead of using the C150, even though the Special B is darker than the C150. I don't know. Back off on the chocolate, use the Special B, and I don't know, maybe try a different yeast. Actually, as I'm sitting here talking about it, I'm thinking that they have changed it up. And if I remember from what I've heard in the last podcast where they talked about it, and there's actually a thread on it on Homebrew Talk, I'm thinking that maybe it's just mostly Special B in this recipe. I think word got out from the brewing company about that, so I might just have to redo it all, but still a great beer. I love it. Like I say, it's funny to see me drinking something like this as much as I'm an IPA guy, but like I say, it's almost at an imperial stout level. I don't like stouts that good unless they got a good bite to them. And this has got a good bite to it. So what can I say? I didn't clone it at all, but I'm curious to see what the judges say about it when I get my score sheets back. It may have some off flavors. It may suck. I don't know. I'm not that talented when it comes to all those tastes and off flavors and everything. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. But there you go. Long overdue comparison to my beer to the Arrogant Bastard. So I got a long ways to go, folks. It's going to be an interesting evening. Whew, might have to crank up some music. The wife's gone to her little Christmas dinner, so I don't know if you noticed or not, but Jake C. Punnet's bacheloring tonight, drinking beer, and I think I'm fixing to crank up some tunes here. So.